Policing children's lunchboxes, Sally. Good idea?
Yeah, no one likes the word policing, but yes, I think schools should regulate.
And that's because if we have a look at the lunchboxes here, we have examples of what is going in them. A cold McDonald's Happy Meal bought the previous evening, 2 bags of crisps and a crisp sandwich, 4 yoghurts and a packet of Smarties, and 1 chocolate muffin, 1 chocolate roll and a bar of chocolate. But Al, you disagree.
Yeah, I don't like the word policing. Absolutely right. I think education is key for schools to educate the parents on healthy eating, but I don't think that policing them without knowing the full story behind that one meal is...
Well, hang on. How much... I mean, what lesson do you need as a parent, right, to be sending your kid to school with a congealed McDonald's from the day before? That's not parenting, that's abuse. So, yes, they need policing these people. They're committing child abuse.
And
that is child abuse.
We don't know the backstory for every child, but 500,000 kids in this country go to school hungry every day. So I think the chances are there are a few children who are turning up already hungry. If they're bringing that in as well, they're in trouble. And the cost isn't just for that individual child and his or her learning, although every study shows that a bad diet leads to worse performance in school.
But
there's a cost to us as well.
Right, but I get it, but those parents need policing.
Well, sure, we can vilify them all we want, but if we put regulations in place, then we're protecting children. We're also lowering the costs for the NHS.
But that costs nearly £3, right? I know, because I occasionally succumb to my own craving for McDonald's, right? For £3, you can give your kid a very nutritious lunchbox, right? Give them a nice sandwich, you can give them, some fruit, you can give them some vegetable, whatever you want to give them. This is just lazy, feckless parenting.
My guess, is, and everyone has... I mean,
why do you want to protect these lazy, feckless parents?
I don't want to spend time vilifying the parents.
Why not?
I want to think of...
They deserve being vilified.
Perhaps.
They do.
Yeah, but I think that we also need to think of a solution that's going to work for the children.
OK, look, am I wrong? I mean, I would literally vilify them, punish them and order them to bring in a proper lunch for their kids.
I think that no one would disagree with you with that extreme example.
Well, hang on a moment. Can I just point out, aren't you being a hypocrite, Piers Morgan? You like a Happy Meal for lunch.
Yeah.
So why shouldn't those parents put one into a lunchbox?
Because that's from the night before. Okay. That's from the night before.
That might be.
Problem
That's one of my bigger problems, yeah.
And it's cold, right?
Huh?
And that it's cold.
I've nothing against McDonald's per se, but from the night before? That's revolting.
Well, except I'm going to defend parents now.
Go on, then. Defend those parents.
OK, so if you're a mum or a dad trying to get off to work...
Oh, excuses. Do me a favour.
Got to get a whole
Seriously.
load of lunches for your children.
Blah, 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 blah. We haven't got time to give our
like
kids anything but a congealed burger. Do me a favour.
You might as well have gone out and got that from McDonald's, so why not put it in a lunchbox?
It's congealed and cold.
That one is.
And disgusting. That was the point. That was the one that came in. It was from the day before. Revolting.
There are a lot of school dinners and schools who serve burger and chips.
Yeah, exactly right.
And so...
Hot burger and
exactly.
chips.
It would be hot. You're absolutely right. It would be hot.
It's not about the burger. It's about the fact it's been sitting there for 15 hours, congealing and rotting, and is now a death trap.
Well,
why am I wrong about this?
Why are you wrong?
I think, honestly, I believe in the nanny state a bit about feckless parents. I think a lot of parents are lazy and feckless, and I'm afraid they need, rather than what they always do, which is blame the school for everything and blame this headmaster for being bossy and everything else. Actually, I'm sorry, some parents, they need it.
I think you're... Sorry, don't
Well, I think what we need to do, though, also is save money for and in a country with nationalised healthcare, where over a decade we had 4-time rise in the number of childhood obesity-related admissions to hospital. We actually need to look at the school dinner time as a time to improve children's health. We can't do it at home. We can't police at home. We can't go into every house every night and every morning. But we can regulate school dinners. And if children need to bring packed lunches...
What about making the parents come in and come on stage in assembly and wear a big dunce's cap?
Well,
what about that idea?
Al, what about... I mean, that might have been a one-off. What, there were times when I might have been guilty of giving my children chocolate for lunch.
Have you given your kids a congealed 12-year-old burger cold for their lunchbox? Yes or no? Is that where we're heading here?
When did this McDonald's become a congealed 12-year-old
Because that was what it was. It was from the day before.
12 years old?
12-day-old. 12-hour-old. 12 hour old. It might have been 12 days old. We don't know.
It's just not fresh.
But your vehement defence of this makes me think you have also done this.
I've never done that, but I have definitely...
What's the worst thing you've given them?
I've definitely probably put too many chocolates, biscuits, and allowed them to put fizzy drink, because I sometimes allow the children to put together their own packed lunch on occasion when they've had to have a packed lunch. Normally I let them have a school meal. Sometimes the school meals aren't, you know, what you would necessarily want your children to be eating, are they? They're not necessarily full of fresh vegetables and, you know, all the protein that you want them to eat.
That's right, and I think that the whole problem is this culture of judgment on the parents. Like, it might be wrong, but let's encourage them and support them and educate them.
But if you leave it to their own devices, that's what you end up with some of them. That's
how
the
do you actually encourage them? How do you interrupt? I mean, also the crisps. If my kid is sitting next to that kid at lunch, they'll say, well, why haven't you given me crisps? And this peer pressure spreads what is really bad dietary behaviour.
Yeah, and the last thing you would want is any child to feel guilty or wrong from what they're eating, because they're a child.